So this is why we talk about mobility, because actually, if you can get people to share a car, you can take out, a lot of cars in the streets. I think it's Singapore where they looked at how they could bring it down to about 40% of the cars if we would use them smarter. And the interesting thing about technology is that it makes sharing easy and fun and not annoying. It used to be a little bit difficult to share, you would have to go in somewhere in the other end of town and get a key, and that's not what you want to do if you want to take your car. But if you can just use your neighbor's car because you have a smartphone and an app and you don't even need to know the neighbor to get into his car, or if you can find ways of carpooling, and this is what technology helps you do, it's much easier and much more fun to share, and you start then thinking completely different about transport and traffic. And I think it's very important that we do not just try to fix yesterday's paradigm, but think about how do we want a city to move.
Knock, knock. Who's there? It's Jim, your neighbor. Oh, hey, Jim. How's it going? It's a nice day out today, isn't it? What can I do for you? Well, actually, pianomattyb, I'm going to work now, so I'm just going to, I need to share your car. Like, it's not really going to work because I got to go to work too. Well, why don't you, if I share your car, why don't you, your neighbor, Juprinder, maybe you should share his car, and then we all kind of, it's fun to share cars. Haven't you heard the slogan, haven't you, pianomattyb? It's fun to share. I heard the slogan, but it's not fun for me because I gotta use the car to get to my work. It's weird. It's like out McGillivray kind of by on the perimeter, So I've seen Juprinder's kids' cars. I don't think I can. I'm not gonna walk over this. I don't even know. I'm not gonna walk over and try to share his car. But as fun as it sounds, I don't want to share his car. Well, okay, all good, pianomattyb. See you later. I'm taking your car. No. Please don't take my car because I also know you smoke, and I don't really want you smoking in my car. I won't. I promise. I promise I won't smoke in your car. Yeah. You don't want to. If you don't let me share your car, it's kind of hate speechy. Is it? I don't think so. I just don't want you to use my car because you smoke and I got to use it. But it's hate speechy. And, you heard Bill C9, didn't you, pianomattyb? Yeah, but there's no way that'll come into law in Canada, as crazy as Canada is. It's in law, actually. So if I were to report you as, not letting me use your car and, they deem it hate speechy, I'd hate for you to go to jail for 5 years. And if it's your second hate speech offense, you shouldn't go away for 10 years for not letting me borrow your car. And if it's your third time for hate speech, I'd hate for you to go away for life. Imagine being in jail. What are you in for, pianomattyb? I didn't let my neighbor Jim borrow my car 3 times in a row. So they threw away the key on me. I'm in jail now, and the one good thing is that they let all the child abusers and pedophiles out. So this would be worse if it was filled with normal people and criminals. But now that it's just filled with normal people, it's not as crazy as I thought. The things that I think when going to jail are that of a man's nightmare, you might say. But now that all the criminals are out on the street and all the normal people are in jail, so it's not how I thought my life would play out. However, I did predict this. Remember YouTube? Yeah, I had a YouTube channel, and I remember when as the hate speech bullshit were coming in, I'm like, this is like a honeypot for me. Like they could go retroactively come back on this this YouTube channel that I did, for zero money. In fact, it cost money to do it, and now I'm in jail for life. for kind of jokes that I made. You know, they when they clip it, it sure doesn't sound like jokes. It sounds like, you know, I said some horrible things according to their hate speech. You know, the way they clip it. You know, if they would just, you know, watch the whole video, they could probably see that I was kind of jesting. If it was, you know, if I may be so bold. Now, here's where they may be correct on that. Gen X, which I proudly belong to, I do feel we are the last generation of this civilization, right? This kick at the can that really holds car ownership close to us. Like, it's my car. That's mine. I want a car. When I get older, I'm going to save up and buy a car. You know, I don't know if that can happen anymore. Like when I was younger, I could buy $1,000 car. And I was like happier than a pig in shit to have I was the Delta 88 Royale Brom. This is how I explained it. Because people would make fun of me because of my shitty car. And I'd say, hey, it's got heat like a fireplace. It's got one of those, like you just slide the heater and it just, you know, one of those massive engines. It cost $1,000. And when I was done with it, I drove it for 2 years. Great in the winter because it had heat like a fireplace. And in Winnipeg, all you really care about is a car that is warm. And when the cars, like, arguably by the time I bought it, the car was done. But those old cars, they can drive forever, really, on a wing and a prayer. All the lights, like a Christmas tree, everything's, you know, pop blinking. But she still drives, right? This is actually the car I drove to the piano bar 25 years ago when Kyle was the piano guy and I was the bartender. I would drive my Royale Brom Delta 88. And when it was done and it wouldn't drive anymore, I just parked it on the side of the street and I just left the key in it. And I don't know what happened. Whether someone grabbed it or stole it, it's just I was done with it. It was just kind of like a bike you ghost ride into the water. I just kind of ghost parked this Royal Brom into the side street, walked away, and never got a letter like, "Hey, we found your car." Or it was just done. Took care of itself. Really, yeah, I released it back to the wild. Royal Delta Brom. And so, long story short, like Duke, who's 10 now, he will probably never have a car or even aspire to have a car. Now, when he's in his 20s and, you know, he's a famous piano player with the biggest live stream known to mankind, maybe he'll buy like a legacy automobile to have where he gets it towed to like a track and he can drive around the track. You know, maybe he'll have one of those. But there's no inspiration or motivation for it. Because by the time, that's 6 years from now, when you know, you're able to have a driver's license in Canada or in Manitoba, you got to be 16. 6 years from now, I believe that, you know, the Tesla robocars will be everywhere. And it'll just be like a big sharing community of cars. So instead of owning a car, and think about how stupid it is, really. Like, let's say you work all day at some company. You drive your car that was sitting in the garage all night long to the parking lot, and it sits there for 8 hours till you drive it back. Now, to us Gen Xers, it's like, yeah, it's my car. It's like my watch. It just comes with me, and I make sure it's okay. It seems a little weird if we were to look back at that. Well, you mean a car didn't do anything? It just sat there for 8 hours. It didn't go and pick people up and, it's a car. Like, no, it's my car. I only did things for me. And so when it comes to convenience, if it's cheaper than leasing or owning a car and it's just as convenient, like for instance, if it was, next to nothing. Now, I don't think it'll start next to nothing, but it'll be a race to nothing, where it may just be deemed kind of a public transport of sorts, where you're literally on your app, like that kooky WAF biatch said, and you'll just be like, yeah, I need to go to the squash club. Boom. Your car's outside. Oh, great. I'll just hop in it and it'll be next to nothing, and I'll never have a car again. And I don't think Duke will ever, until he's, the biggest piano live stream in the world's ever seen. And then that'll change everything. I don't even know how I got to. Oh yeah, this is the reason why I was late starting, because I like to be on time, because I know when I'm watching a live stream and it's late, I'm just like, guys, you got one thing to do here. You literally got one thing to do. You stayed at a time, and now you're late. And as a musician, timing's everything, right? So when I don't hit that button at 8, it's because there's somewhat of an emergency. And what happened was, that's right, E-Money, you eat meat, negative social score, to jail. It's a hate crime. You're actually hating a cow. You got to go to jail. That's your third time. Throw away the key. I came down to realize that there was a power outage last night, and so everything was shut down and off, whereas usually everything stays running. Like the computers just goes to sleep. The Rodecaster Pro is on 24/7. And then the camera, this iPhone 6S that is the camera for this unbelievable production show, it wasn't connected to the computer, so it was dead. So it died. And what also happens is that this thing, this chart here, that costs $400 a year to have different charts. Like if you have normal trading view, they'll only allow you so many charts and then so many indicators and whatnot. They really cramp your style. And so I don't want to be switching the things all the time. So what happens, long story short, is that what is this? Is this Brave? When Brave goes down, when it pops up, it just goes all trading view 4-hour charts. And so all the doodles, all the arbitrary doodles you see here get applied to the 4-hour chart. So whoa, what the hell's going on here? So then I got to go back and I actually have it, because this is what I used to do every time I did this, which wasn't a lot, but it was always the last thing I check, right? Like the charts, like, oh shit, what are the charts? And I see I have this little thing that says 4-hour chart, Bitfinex, daily chart, Bitstamp, weekly, Coinbase or Kraken, monthly, capital.com. I don't even know what the hell that is. So I got to go in and like change the things so the actual historic doodles come up. Because where would we be? How would we really know what the price is without these historical doodles? Oh, I know, because it's been the same price for 12 months. That's how we know. And essentially, that's where we are now. This really wasn't here yesterday. It was just, if we build this out, we'll be building out, well, what some legacy analysts call a bear flag. Where did we say that this plays out to? You take the pool, you break it all to the breakout point, 108.6. That's where that breaks out to. Can you imagine the social calamity if that happened? Let's take a look at some of these metrics here. Fear and greed down to 40. I guess that hasn't been that fearful for a while, but still doesn't matter. 3.9, under 4 trillion. Under 4 trillion. Now, a lot of people were calling for min 5 trill. Min 5 trillion on this bull run. Will we hit it? I'm not sure. Look at these outflows. This was yesterday? I guess they don't do Friday, 19, 20, 20. Oh, yeah. Bitcoin, 369 million. Does that equal? I remember there's some girl, she's like a crypto girl, although it's all just cleavage, right? I get it. I'd do it too. All her pictures is just massive cleavage, and she's an analyst, and she like hundreds of thousands of views, right? I get it. She had this thing about like everyone buying and the price going down. So, maybe this is $369 million in outflows. It's a lot. Really didn't move the market much, though. Should probably just start doing some money, some data on if this much came out and the price only went down 2%. It's always that it's to the upside too. So if this moved the market 3%, 369 inflows, well, it would tank the market if we had the inflows. It's outflows tank the market, inflows tank the market. It seems in this bull run anyway. So that's not good. Maybe that will be continued pressure that will take us to the 108 mark. I don't know. Is there anything else interesting on this? Let's see. Coinbase changed. They used to have it a running ticker where I could just be like, this is that, this is that, this is that, and now it's all over the place. So I don't even know where like the Bitcoin dominance 57.7. It's hard to read. I don't like it, but I'm stuck in my ways. Part of a Gen Xer is like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And Chadwick, I paid for wifey's trading view, and I'm proud to say she hasn't logged in since the day I got it for her. Yeah. Well, I probably won't get this for the bear market. I don't need to look at, the same price, $400 a year on each thing. Not something I'm looking forward to. Solana 219 everything's taking a bath, really. Take a look at the ding dong. So we kind of broke out of what we were hoping was a mother of all cup and handle patterns. This is what you would call a breakout, negating the pattern. Now, bullishly speaking, if we could see a pump up to 115, that would be a bullish engulfing candle, and we may be back in the running of it. Yeah, I would say we'd be back in the running for this pattern to play out. Obviously, the bulls would be back. E-money, how close do you think we are to the cycle end? It's an interesting question because it's one of those things where I can hold two thoughts at once. Right? I know it's hard to do in this day and age, hold two thoughts at once, but I do. Bullish Parade. I know the female YouTuber you're talking about. Is it wrong? My watch on mute. The thing I find interesting about her, I've never really seen a video. I just see posts. And it's like, it reminds me of some of the AI videos that I do. Is like, is that person real? Or is that just like some girl that takes selfies or some guy that has pictures of his girlfriend and makes it a constant clickbait farm? Maybe she is real. I don't know. If we have a pump back up to a 115.1 bullish engulfing candle, maybe we're about to rock and roll again. But E-money, what was the question? How close do you think we are to the cycle end? Right, holding two thoughts at once. I'm pretty much a Bitcoin traditionalist when it comes to the cycle, right? I do believe, as spicy and as taboo as it may be to defy the 4-year cycle, I'm going to adhere to it until it breaks, because I don't want to front run, a broken cycle, because that would be very risky. And I'm not really here for risk. I'm adverse to dollar risk. Therefore, everything in Bitcoin is not risky. Now, what would be risky would be to think that I can outsmart the market and go like this. The cycle has been predictable, almost like a simulation to a certain degree for the past 15 years. But you know what? I'm gonna bet against it this time. I got a feeling based on nothing. It's just really a Hail Mary, taking the other side of the trade type of feeling. I'm going to sell it all thinking that the cycle's broken, and I'll buy back $70K. Genius. I don't have that type of risk runway in my simulation here. So I just hold on. That's why, like, as boring as it is, I honestly don't care, because I'm not here. There's no take profit for me in this cycle. You know, I mean, if it went to $1 million, you know, not that I have any Bitcoin, but if I did have Bitcoin and it went to $1 million, I might, you know, take the gas off the lifestyle, you know, like have, here's the thing. Let's do some fantasy talk here. Let's say I was able to, if I had Bitcoin, to take like $100K off the table. And it was like, I'm going to use this just for like, to have nice things for a year or 2 or 3 until the bull market comes back. You know, I'll just coast with this money. I probably wouldn't spend it. You know, nothing would change. You know, what would I spend it on? Garbage? Might get fatter, juicier ribeyes. You know, that's about it. Nothing in my life would really change with that money. So why take it off the table when we all know 100K off the table into dirty fiat is probably, you're losing $1 million in 4 or 8 years. For what? For some juicier ribbon? Nothing would change. So, holding 2 thoughts at once. That's the traditionalist cyclist in me that doesn't want to defy it. Now, the second thought that I can also hold is that maybe things are different this time because we let the socias in. You guys have watched The Outsiders, right? The socias were the cool kids, right? The cool rich kids with the nice Corvairs. We let them into the party. We knew we shouldn't, but we're nice. We're nice. We're like, hey, institutions and nation states want to get into Bitcoin. Well, it kind of goes against the reason we have this party. But all right, let's all come in. And so they came in, and now things are different because they have levers on which levers know not of. Right? We didn't know that they could do what they're doing or push the price. We let them manipulate. We like to manipulate ourselves. Right? Like we accept whales manipulating the market, and we accept exchanges liquidating noobs. That's fair game. This is the game we grew up in. Whales and exchanges. Now, when institutions come in and they start muting volatility, so to speak, that's where we draw the line. Hey, what happened to our whales dumping on us every cycle? You know, give me a whale dumping on me. I want to be exit liquidity. You know, I miss the days when, you know, I could get FOMO and start thinking that, you know, I'm going to be the next Bitcoin millionaire. And then just to find out that was and may always be exit liquidity.
Make sure you like and subscribe.